Welcome back, students, and here we are at chapter 3.3, solving multi-step equations. So you saw in chapter 3.1 we used addition and subtraction, and 3.2 we used multiplication and division. Now we're going to see both of those and look at how do we isolate that x when we have multiplication and addition, or division and subtraction, or vice versa. So solving a linear equation. Simplify one or both sides of the equation if needed. Okay, and we have an example of that. And I'll show you what that means. Then use the inverse operations to isolate the variable. So you must do, this is almost like a step 1 and then a step 2. Okay, so you must see if you can simplify one or both sides of the equation before you can use the inverse operations to isolate the variable. So let's see the examples and you'll understand the rules. So on this first problem, I'll rewrite it. 1/3 x plus 6 equals -8. Okay, we have to look at this equation, this linear equation, ask ourselves, can we simplify the left side or the right side first before we use the inverse operations? So basically it's asking, are there any like terms on the left side that you can combine, or is there any like terms on the right side that you combine? And on this problem there is not any like terms that you want to simplify first. So you'll see that on the next example. So let's solve this one. So we skip step 1, we go to step 2, we're going to start using the inverse operations. So again, our goal is to isolate the x. So to do that, okay, we're going to subtract 6 from both sides. Okay, so when you subtract 6 from both sides, remember that cancels out. This just comes down, so now we have 1/3 x equals, and then -8 minus 6, remember, same sign. We add them together, you get 14, and you combine that like sign. So now we have 1/3 x, so 1/3 times x equals -14. Multiply it by its reciprocal. Okay, these cancel out. X equals -42. Okay, so plug it back in to check. What's 1/3 of -42 plus 6? Will equal -8, and we know that -43 times 1/3, that's basically saying -42 divided by 3, 14 plus 6 equals -8. Different signs, so we can subtract them. 14 minus 6 is 8. 14 is the largest, so -8 equals -8, so it checks out. Okay? So, let's look at the bottom one here. 7x minus 3x minus 8 equals 24. So go to step 1, simplify, okay, one side or both sides of the equation if needed. And now we have like terms. We can simplify that. We know that those are like terms. So 7x minus 3x is 4x. Minus 8 equals 24. Okay, so this is in the equation that we can recognize now. Looks very similar to that first one that we worked on. So we're going to add 8 to both sides. 4x equals 32. Divide by 4. X equals 8. Okay, so 7 times 8 minus 3 times 8 minus 8 equals 24. So 7 times 8 we know is 56, minus 24 minus 8. So 24 minus 8, or 56 minus 24, we'll do that one first, equals 32 minus 8, which equals 24. So 24 does equal 24, so that checks out. make sure to check your work. Okay. So some more examples. Okay. So remember, there's two steps. Number one is to simplify each side of the equation if you can, and then use the inverse operation. So here we have this distributive property here in our equation. So we have to make sure that we solve that first. We have to simplify that first. So we're going to distribute that 3. So now we have 5x plus 3x, sorry, plus 12 equals 28. Make sure when you're using the distributive property that that 3 gets distributed to both terms inside of the parentheses. So now this looks similar to the second problem that we worked on. Okay, combine like terms, 8x plus 12 equals 28. Subtract 12, 8x equals 16. Divide by 8, x equals 2. Plug this in to check. 5 times 2 plus 3 times 2 plus 4 equals 28. Well, parentheses first, so 2 plus 4 is 6. I know this is 10, so 10 plus, if this is 3 times 6 is 18, equals 28. So 28 equals 28. Checks out. Okay. Okay, remember, our goal, isolate the x. Make sure it has a coefficient of a positive 1. Good. Okay, so these two problems look very similar. Okay, there's one huge difference, and this negative's there. Okay, remember that subtraction sign is connected to that 3, that term that's right in front of that parenthesis. So what we're going to do is when we distribute here, we're going to distribute the whole piece. We're going to distribute the negative 3. So 4x minus 3x plus now 6 equals 21. Now the main thing here is, this is when you need to kind of read it to yourself. Negative 3 times x is negative 3x, and negative 3 times negative 2 is a positive 6. Okay, so 4x minus 1x, we're combining like terms, is 1x. Inverse operation, not 2x, sorry. Inverse operation, x equals 15. Okay, check your work. I know that 4 times, I'm going to do this kind of, 4 times 15 is 60. 60 minus 3 times 15 minus 2 equals 21. So I know 60 minus 15 minus 2 is 13, sorry, not 3, 13. Times 3 is 39. And 60 minus 39 is 21. So 21 equals 21. Okay. So it's very important that you check if you can simplify on the left or right side of the equal sign. We have to make sure that we do that first before we take the inverse operation to get x alone. Okay, and remember, when you're distributing, see if there's a subtraction sign in front of that number. We have to take that along with us when we distribute to each of the terms inside of the parentheses. Alright, last one. 66 equals negative 6 over 5, x plus 3. So we have a fraction now outside of our parentheses. And we know how to get rid of fractions. So we're actually going to do that now so we can get rid of it. We're going to multiply it by its reciprocal. Remember, whatever we do to one side, we have to do to the other side. Okay, so these two cancel each other out. We get x, you take out the parentheses now, x plus 3 equals